I used to be really awkward talking to people. My whole life was me trying to fit in. Everyone seemed to know naturally how to act, how to talk, how to attract. But for me, I had to learn everything by myself. So in this video, I will give you the 3 rules you should follow religiously to talk to anyone with confidence. Rule number 1, move while you are shaking, which is part of the inside game you have to play. What I mean by that is that you have to accept that you suck right now, especially at the beginning. But you have also to believe that by time you will get better and better and better. So you see people around you that are very social. It's very normal for them, but you are not. And in the future, I will tell you, you will understand that you really have an advantage on them. It's not the vice versa. But anyways, so even if you feel nervous, you have to force yourself to act anyway. No video, no book, no podcast will change that. You have to be courageous. You have to act anyway. There is no trick that will make it easier or change it or nothing. You have just to act. And by that, you have to accept that sometimes you will lose. Maybe even a lot of times. But it's not as bad as you think. So it is part of the process. It is the same thing as going to the gym. By going to the gym, you accept the fact that you are not good, your body is not good, you don't have a good body, maybe you are skinny or even fat. So you have to accept that you suck right now, but have the belief that you will improve in the future if you force yourself. So forcing yourself is very important. You can't escape that. And with that comes to the rule that you have to risk it sometimes. So I'll give you an example. One time I was in my room, just sleeping and watching YouTube probably. And I heard the voice of 3 women entering our house. They were, you can say, our family. Not super close family, but we have the same family name. And they were in the salon, and I knew I had to go to them and salute them. So I felt anxious and awkward. I didn't want to do that. I said maybe I will pretend that I'm sleeping. But I knew it wouldn't work. Either I go or they will go to me and they will see my messy room. This is more awkward. So I took the courage and I went in. So when I arrived, and to just give you the context, I was already training in the gym for 6 months. So I was really skinny and now I have some muscles to show. And one of the women just saw me and said, "Wow, you really changed. You are grown up now." And then my mind came up with a really funny thing to do to show my muscles. But I said, would I do it? I really don't have to do that. But I don't know what happened last time I pushed myself. So I said, we didn't see anything. I know it sounds cringe right now, but at that moment it was very funny and everyone started blasting and laughing. So I saluted them quickly and got out. On my way out, my sister saw me and said, "What have you done to make him laugh this way?" I said, "It's just a secret." And she was really proud of me that I did that because I was very shy and how could I do that? So this teaches us lesson that when you have something to say, you have something funny, you have some opinion to say, don't be scared to say it. You have to push yourself. Even if you sound awkward, it doesn't really matter. Because in the future, you will forget all these awkward situations and they will become funny. But in the future, you will become more social and charismatic. So there is no escape from that. You have to do it. And rule number 2, which is part of the outside game. We have talked about the inside, now let's talk about the outside. So this rule says set the frame. What I mean by that, when you go out alone, you start feeling like good at the beginning, but after a moment, it's like the environment starts affecting you, and you will start feeling awkward, you will start feeling anxious. This happens because the environment is affecting you. And I have a really good solution for that. And I will let you figure it out yourself. Surely you have tried one time, you get out, and you are not by yourself, you are with friends. Do you feel like anxious? Not at all, or at least not as much as when you are alone. Or another example, if you are out and you are having a call with someone, do you really feel that anxious? No. Why is that? It is because you are affecting the environment, and it's not the environment that is affecting you. Even though you don't want to have a lot of attention, but it is very necessary. The more attention you have, the more effect you have on the environment, the less anxious you will feel. So for that, you have to really affect the environment. And one way to do that, when you get out, you can start singing, for example. You have a song in your mind, or maybe just your fingers like this. Anything to affect the environment. Just don't stay still. Just don't work normally, and that's it. If you do that, you are not affecting the environment, and vice versa. So the environment will affect you. So you have to be very careful with that. And another thing you have to know is how you do something. How you talk is more important than what you say. So how you say it is more important than what you say. So when you go to someone and talk to him, it doesn't really matter what you say. Surely you have heard this advice a lot of times, but you don't really believe it, and you don't understand it. But you have to figure it out yourself. So when you talk to someone, it doesn't really matter what you say to him. What matters is how you say it to him. You can say the most awkward thing, the most abnormal thing, the most basic thing, and it will still make that girl laugh because of how you said it. So the how is more important than what. And rule number 3, reps build the range, which is part of the training game. What I mean by that is that the more you do it, the easier you can do it again. The same thing with going to the gym and the muscles. When you start, it's very hard and you feel like you are very skinny, you are maybe fat, you are very awkward, and it's not your environment. But the more you do it, you will see muscles and you get stronger, and everything just comes in together. So the more you do it, easier. Even with consistency, when you start going to the gym, sometimes you don't feel like going to the gym. But believe me, after training for 6-7 months, it will become very automatic. You can just stay at home without going to the gym at least 3-4 times a week. If you don't do that, you will feel like shit. So it's very easy for me right now to go to the gym. And the same thing with talking to people. The more you do it, the more automatic it will become, and the better you will become at it. So this makes it very easier to do it again. And another thing that you will notice is sometimes you will get in flow state. What I mean by flow state, it is the state when you do everything seamlessly and automatically and easily. So surely this happened to you one time, or it will happen in the future. You're just talking with a lot of people, with friends, and you are having fun, and it feels automatic. You see someone, you talk to him, you salute him, hi, how are you? What are you doing here? It's really easy, and you don't have to think about it, you don't feel anxious. This is what flow state means. In this state, when this happens to you, you have to push yourself a little bit harder. So, so you have to imagine that your social skills are like have a baseline. Let's say that you are 5 out of 10 in social skills, how good you are. When you are in flow state, you act as if you are maybe instead of 5, you are 7 out of 10. So you are very social. If someone sees you from outside, they will say, he is really social person right now. Because now you are like 7. But the next morning, you can't just stay 7 because this is not your baseline. Your baseline was 5. But if you push yourself in this flow state, instead of coming back to a 5, the next morning you will become 5.1 or 5.2. So each time you push yourself harder, your baseline will increase a little bit until at one point your baseline will be social. So it will be very easy for you to talk to anyone without thinking about it, without forcing yourself. And believe me, this will happen one day if you just follow my advice. And one last thing I have to say, which is very important, and it took me a long time to figure it out. Don't just practice with men, and not in a gay way, but one thing that you would think is that if you are being social with guys, it would be easy for you to be also social with girls, but it is a whole different game. I made this mistake myself. So at one point it became very easy for me to talk with guys and make friends. Very simple. Just talk to him about anything because I was practicing a lot and it became automatic. But when I try to apply the same things to girls, it doesn't work. Like I improved a little bit more than I was before. I was a little bit better, but still I can't flirt, I can't make it men to women because I just focused on guys. So one very important advice is that to train with both. So try to talk to guys and girls also. Don't assume that if you became social with guys, the same thing will be with girls. It doesn't work that way. So train with both genders at the same time. This way we'll get exponential gains. So if you really don't understand this video, like have question, you can just put it on the comments or just rewatch the video. And as always, stay professional.